So good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me tonight to talk about the industry that I really love, the Philippine agricultural sector. It's actually the sector na nag-attract talaga sa akin na bumalik ng Pilipinas and to contribute in whatever way I can through CHC Agritech, especially in particular for in terms of promoting organic agriculture. But anyway, let me just maybe start off, Sir Ryan, to by introducing myself. My name is Luis Hungko Kapor. I'm a consultant for partnerships with CHC Agritech. But before CHC Agritech, I was formerly a financial controller, or what you would call siguro in Philippine parlance, finance manager. And I was working for MNCs. I was based in Dubai. I covered Middle East and North Africa. And then later, when I transferred to Singapore, I covered Southeast Asia and Australia. So most of my career has been in finance. But before finance or financial controlling, I was a graduate of economics from UP Diliman. And then I took my MBA, specializing in finance dito sa Pilipinas din. And then I took another master's abroad. And now I'm gonna talk more about yung sa sector natin, sa agriculture sector, ang layo from economics to agriculture. But let's apply yung mga alam natin sa let's explore kung ano yung ekonomiya ng ating agriculture sector. Gaano ba yung estado niya ngayon? Maganda ba siya? Or medyo kailangan natin talaga siyang tulong? At kung kailangan niya ng tulong, paano ba tayo tutulong? Yun po yung ating topic for tonight. So let's go ahead. Get right into the presentation. So una-una, let's talk about yung Philippine agricultural economy. Ano nangyayari dito? So before siguro dyan, mag-zoom out muna tayo sa the whole economy ng Pilipinas. When we talk about economy, usually ang economists, they refer to something called GDP or gross domestic product. Ang ibig sabihin lang naman yan ng GDP is ano ba yung pinoproduce ng Pilipinas? Ano ba yung pinoproduce niya, whether it's a product, nagpo-produce ba tayo ng kape, ng what they call this thing, ng makinarya, robot, or service sa bangko, sa mga fast food chains, no? So those are called what you call services. And of course, sa agriculture sector in particular, which had been a very big or a huge part of the Philippine economy before. When we talk about the 1950s, for example, almost 50%, 40 to 50% ng ating buong ekonomiya, ng ating buong production sa Pilipinas ay nasa agriculture sector. So it was very large before. But of course, over time, lumiit siya ng lumiit. Kasi lumaki rin naman yung industriya or industry sector, yung mga factories, for example, no? At lumaki din yung services sector, yung let's say for banking and finance sector, yung mga sa retail sector, yung sa mga malls, ganyan, no? So lumaki din yung mga ibang sectors. Pero ang agriculture sector, bumaba siya ng bumaba as a percentage of the total economy or the total production ng Philippines. So right now, as of 2019, mga 10% na lang yung agriculture sector natin natitira. Now, when we talk about naman sa subsectors ng agriculture sector, ano ba yung meron doon? No? You'll be very surprised. Palay or rice. Rice is 18. Sometimes it reaches mga around 22%. But it's very, very high. It's like 1/5 of the total agriculture economy is rice production. Then, of course, very recently, ngayon lang mga 2 years lang, the past 2 years, banana. Very big tayo sa Pilipinas sa production ng banana. And also, very large yung production natin when it comes to corn. So those are the more basic crops, no? Rice, corn, dun yun sila sa mga pinaka-basic na commodities. So corn right now is at 5%, but it used to be around 9%, just like banana. So kung minsan nagsha-shuffle. But they're the 3 largest crops. And then of course, you have other items din like coconut, pineapple, livestock. Livestock, when you say livestock, it's basically chicken, pork, ganyan, no, or ruminants. Meron din tayong fisheries at 13%, no, sa aquaculture natin. Pino-point out ko lang itong mga to like palay, corn, banana, livestock, fishery, because later on sa presentation natin, especially sa CHC Agritech na na-side, ma-relate natin kung paano pala yung mga produkto natin makaka-contribute into improving yung performance ng mga subsectors na ito. Okay? So, let's go ahead. Now, sasabihin natin, okay, it's only 10% of the economy. Pero wait a bit. Although it is only 10% ng ating ekonomiya, when it comes to workforce, yung mga tao na nagtatrabaho at kumikita, yung yung income earners ng ating mga pamilya, no? Ang workforce distribution, ang agriculture sector napakalaki. More than double ang kanyang contribution sa workforce. Ibig sabihin, mas maraming tao pala ang nagtatrabaho directly sa pagpo-produce ng palay, pagpo-produce ng corn, pagpo-produce ng banana, at ng mga livestock at fisheries. In fact, 1 in every 4 working Filipino directly works in this sector. What is more is that kung i-combine pa natin yung ibang related na industriya, like for example, processing, of course, no? For example, kung may banana ka, hindi lang naman na binibenta mo yung banana, pinaprocess mo pa yan, ginagawa mo pa siyang banana chips, or kung minsan ginagawang banana ketchup. So may processing yan, may manufacturing yan, may trading yan, yung mga middlemen, no, na nagtatransport ng banana from the farmers to the market. So if you include all of that combined, the agriculture sector actually becomes so much bigger. It will actually account around 40% ng entire economy and 2 of every 3 jobs. So yun po, napaka-importante ng ekonomiya, sa ekonomiya, ang agricultural sector natin. You could say, if you have a healthy agriculture sector, you would have relatively a healthy income para sa inyo, sa mas maraming workforce, and therefore you will have a healthier economy. So all these things, they really go together, and that's why agriculture sector is very, very important para sa overall health ng economy. Now, nasabi na natin, napaka-importante niyang sector, pero wait a bit. Bakit ang mga pinakamahirap ay nasa sector na ito din? Parang obvious din naman, no? Kasi nakita natin, mga 1 in every 4 working Filipinos nagtatrabaho sa sector na yan, 22 to 25% nagtatrabaho sa sector na yan. And yet, ang production nila is only 10%. So parang ang baba yata ng production nila sa ang dami-daming tao nagtatrabaho sa sector na yan. Which only means to say na, which will indirectly relate dito sa ating nakikita na yun nga, kasi siguro ang income nila ay napakamababa. No? Napakababa. Marami nga silang nagtatrabaho, pero mababa naman yung income nila. Bakit mababa yung income nila? Many reasons. One of them, which we will discuss later, is very low productivity. Although ang dami-dami nila nagtatrabaho, hindi sila ganun ka-productive. And therefore, mababa yung income nila. And then, of course, there's a lot of poverty that we are seeing. So nakikita natin, no, sa Pilipinas, ang poverty incidence or yung mga mahihirap na tao is around 17%. Ngayon ng 2020, tumaas po yan hanggang 20%. Pero among farmers, sa mga farmers and fisher folks, mas mataas ang poverty incidence. Mas maraming mahihirap doon sa mga farmers. Pagkikita natin, 31.6, 26%. Ang mas mataas pa yung mas marami pang mahihirap doon sa mga farmers and fisher folks natin. Isa din natin nakikita ngayon, no? Although napakalaking parte ng ating ekonomiya, ang agriculture sector, siguro iisipin natin, sobrang laki niya ng parte ng ating ekonomiya, dapat safe na tayo, secure na tayo sa ating pagkain. And yet, no. Marami tayo sa Pilipinas, marami tayong food security and even safety concerns. Like, naalala natin for the past years and even until now, meron tayong problema sa rice. Sabi natin 18% ng production, 20% ng production ng Pilipinas nasa rice. And yet, nag-i-import pa rin tayo. In fact, Pilipinas and China, kasi syempre malaking-malaki sila, they're the biggest importers ng rice globally. Paano nangyari yun na ang laki-laki na nga ng ekonomiya natin na devote sa rice, kulang pa rin, di ba? Tapos ngayon naman may African swine fever, ASF, kaya bumaba yung production ng baboy. Kaya kung minsan sa sobrang bababa dito sa Pilipinas, kailangan pa rin natin mag-import. Nakakatawa rin na yung Pilipinas, we have the 6th largest na coastline. Out of 190 countries sa buong mundo, 190 countries, ang Pilipinas ranks number 6 in terms of coastline length, yung haba ng coastline ng Pilipinas. And yet, tayo, nagkakaproblema pa tayo sa ating aquaculture products. Nakukulangan tayo. At some point, we had to import galunggong, no? A very basic na commodity among Filipinos, no? We had to import galunggong at natakot pa tayo kasi binalita na may formalin daw ang galunggong, ba? And now, very recently also, meron namang problema daw sa mga cheap imports ng carrots, meron ding cheap imports ng onions, and these are quite basic na food commodities among Filipinos, and yet, kulang na kulang. Kulang na kulang. One of the major then, nakikita ng among sa mga economists, among sa mga nag-study ng agriculture sector is really yung productivity gap. Kasi malaki na nga yung dinidevote natin sa agriculture sector. Maraming tao na nagtatrabaho doon. Malaki din yung contribution niya sa ekonomiya. Pero naghihirap tayo, kulang pa rin tayo ng kulang pa rin yung production natin. Ano ba yung problema? And really the key there is yung productivity, no? Kasi kahit 100 or 1 million man kayo nagtatrabaho diyan, kung hindi naman kayo productive, mababa pa rin talaga ang magiging production at mababa din yung magiging income ng mga tao na nagpro-produce. So, here is like a map, no? Ikumpara natin sa ibang bansa kasi that's how we will see kung are we slow or are we fast, no? Kung i-compare natin yung sarili natin among our neighbors, which are also quite heavily agricultural dependent, or not dependent, but they have also very large agricultural sectors and they have quite similar na mga geographies and climatic conditions sa atin. So dito in a study from 1980 to 2020, 40 years yan na study, yung agricultural sector ng Pilipinas ay nag-increase lang ng 2 times. So kung dati nagpo-produce tayo ng 100 million, ngayon ng 1980 nagpo-produce tayo ng 100 million worth of products. Ngayon ang ating agricultural sector nagpo-produce lang ng 200 million times 2. Ikumpara natin sa iba't ibang bansa. Ang Malaysia, 2.3, ang Indonesia, 3.4, ang Thailand, 2.5, ang Vietnam, 3.9. So, laging pa rin tayo. By the way, it looks like yung mga numbers na yan, maliliit, 2, 2.3, wala namang masyadong diferensya. But actually, kung mo yan into billions of pesos, malaking diferensya yan. And then of course, iisipin nyo kung ilang tao lang ba sa Malaysia ang nagtatrabaho sa agriculture sector. Ilang tao ba sa Thailand ang nagtatrabaho sa agriculture sector? Mas maliit ang workforce nila na nagtatrabaho sa sectors na yan kaysa naman sa Pilipinas, mas malaki. So, slow growth talaga yung ating agri-sector. Nakita din natin habang slow yung growth natin sa productivity, ang atin namang fertilizer application, yung mga ginagamit nating, yung ginagastusan natin sa ating mga inputs, fertilizer, pesticide, yan, ang mamahal ng mga yan, no? Nag-increase sila ng sangkatutak, no? From 1961 to 2005 in that particular study, for example, that's another 40-year study, nag-increase yung fertilizer application natin ng 1,000%. Aba, ilang ano yan, ilang folds yan ng pag-increase. And yet, ang ating production sa rice, nag-increase lang ng 200 at yung sa corn, nag-increase lang ng 280%. So, hindi nga nag-times 3 sa corn, no? And yung sa rice, nag-times 2 lang. Nag-times 2 lang sa rice and yung sa corn, times 3 plus sa rice and yung sa corn, times 4, hindi na umabot. Now, i-compare naman natin sa ating trading, no? Kasi syempre, kung nag-produce tayo, gusto sana natin ibenta din sa ibang bansa, right? Because that's how we can earn more money, right? If we produce, we sell, we earn money. Yun lang naman yung dyan. Export is what we sell to others. Import is what we buy, ang binibili natin from ibang bansa. And yung balance, ang balance dyan is the export minus import. So kung bumibili tayo, mas marami yung binibili natin kesa sa binibenta natin, obviously, mag-negative balance tayo, no? Katulad din sa income ng isang tao, pag yung ating sahod, yung mga pinamimili natin ay mas mataas pa sa sinasahod sa atin, then of course mangungutang tayo. At yan, unfortunately, ang nangyayari sa Pilipinas. So kung titingnan mo dyan, among the different countries sa Asia, ang Pilipinas lang ang may negative na balance. Ibig sabihin, ang Pilipinas lang ang kailangan magbili or buy, import more than what we sell or export. And that is consistent. At ang data dyan is 2016, pero kung titingnan mo yan mga year by year, for different years, even before that and after that, ganun po yung situation. Even when you look into 2019, so very recent po yung mga data natin, kita natin sa Malaysia, sa land-based agricultural exports, yung mga binibenta natin sa ibang bansa, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam, ang export nila per hectare is $1,300. Sa atin, $400 lang per hectare. No? Even sa aqua-based exports, dapat ang Pilipinas nangunguna dito kasi we have the 6th longest coastline in the whole world. And yet, Vietnam, ang liit lang ng coastline ng Vietnam, 8 times pa sa Philippines ang kanilang exports sa aquaculture. Ang Thailand, mataas din. Indonesia, 6 times ang export niya sa aquaculture kumpara sa Pilipinas. Although admittedly, Indonesia is much larger than Philippines, no? And has a much larger coastline kaysa sa Pilipinas. And yet, ang layo-layo kasi ng distansya natin. Here's another look on the productivity gap. Nakita natin kanina na yung rice, malaking part yan ng ating agri-sector, mga 18 to 20%. It's the largest commodity sa ating agri-sector. Ang ating productivity in terms of tonelada per hectare, no, is around 3.9 only. In fact, I checked for 2019 na data. Pareho lang, walang pagkakaiba kasi yung data nito is around 2014 pa. But even as recent as 2019, pareho pa rin po 3.9 tons per hectare on the average ang sa Pilipinas. Now, if you compare it with other countries, then Indonesia, ang layo niya, no? Malaysia is not really a big rice-producing country. Hindi naman nila yan pinagtitingnan talaga. Thailand, more siya kasi sa mga low-yield varieties like fragrant rice and mga glutinous rice. Japan and China, 6.5 tons per hectare. 6.5 tayo, 3.9 tons lang per hectare. No? And, well, on the flip side, you could say na ay, pwede pala tayong mag-improve all the way to 6.5 tons per hectare or 6 tons per hectare. Ang laki pala ng room for improvement natin. So later, kung may mga farmers kayong introducing products like CHC Agritech, for example, and we claim or we tell them that these products can actually help increase yung production, and then sasabihin nila, hindi kami naniniwala, then you can point out, look, sa ibang bansa, ang ganda-ganda ng kanilang productivity sa rice. Pwede lang natin yan maabot kasi nakikita natin sa ibang bansa like Vietnam. Makikita natin na almost pwede pa lang mag-increase yung productivity ng ating mga rice fields by as much by 50% or even more. Right? So corn is similar story. Mas malala pa nga sa corn, no? Ang Pilipinas 2.9 tons per hectare ang production niya. Yung sa Vietnam 4.4, yung sa Malaysia mataas, 8 tons, hindi ko alam kung ano ginagawa nila. Indonesia 4.9. So pababa tayo when it comes to productivity, but on the flip side, malaki din ang room for improvement. No? And malaki yung opportunity na makukuha once we improve yung ating agri sector. So we look back again, no? We summarize a little bit. 1 in every 4 working Filipino works in agri sector. Malaking parte ng ating workforce nasa agri sector. And yet high ang poverty among farmers, right? Sila yung pinakamahirap. And one of the biggest reasons dyan is low productivity. Paano natin sila matutulungan in terms of increasing yung kanilang productivity as well as actually sa kanilang cost. No? Kasi part din yan you must understand 50 to 70% ng cost ng isang farmer ay nasa inputs like fertilizer, or feeds or pesticides. And 85% ng kanilang fertilizers binibili from stores, no? And these are all 85% of that is imported, no? So meron tayong a lot of dependence sa mga producers or sa mga suppliers from outside of the Philippines. So yun yung situation na kinakaharap ng ating mga farmers. So, like promise, let's go naman kung paano natin tutulungan. Kasi that's why we're here, right? We're here to help the farmers. At the same time, of course, hopefully, magiging source natin to ng ating livelihood in a sustainable way, right? Through organic agriculture, through promoting organic agriculture. But let's see kung paano natin to ma-solusyonan yung mga problema ng ating farmers. So sa CHC Agritech, we have 5 products. And yung 5 products na to, they really can address a lot of subsectors sa ating agri sector. We have MaxiGrow, or foliar fertilizer, for all sorts of plants and crops. We have our Farmer's Friend, which is ang soil conditioner natin, again, for almost all sorts of crops. We have yung probiotics natin for land-based na livestock. We also have for AquaLife, for aqua-based livestock. And then we have Activator, which is actually used quite a lot sa mga farms via land preparation or as a decomposer, even as a sort of a soil conditioner to together with Farmer's Friend. It can also be used sa mga livestock para pampawala baho at langaw, or sa aquaculture, no, mga ponds para ma-disinfect yung ponds and ma-condition yung soil underneath the water. So has a lot of application yung Activator. But on the whole, yung product advantages natin, ito yung ating benefits na dapat i-promise sa mga farmers. Okay? 1, kailangan ang products natin makaboost ng kanilang productivity. Kasi kung hindi natin masabi with a straight face na, yes, ang product namin makaka-increase ng production ng inyong palay from 50 sacks per hectare per hectare into 100 sacks per hectare or 80 sacks per hectare. Kung hindi natin yun masabi to the farmer with a straight face, usually ang farmer, they would not even, listen anymore sa atin. But thankfully, sa ating mga experiences, our products have been very, very helpful sa ating mga kliyente, sa ating mga farmer na mga tinutulungan. So, boost yung production, also i-cut ang kanilang cost. Also, our products are very, very fast acting. In fact, for activator, you're talking of seconds para makita ang effect yung effect ng activator. Our products are highly concentrated. Usually 1 kilogram is to be applied to 1 hectare. So it's very concentrated and very economical at that. Another advantage talaga sa product natin is that they're very easy and convenient to use. No? Basically, ang gagawin natin is that lang sa tubig, i-soak lang sa water, overnight, pabayaan lang yan dyan, and then the next morning, apply the product. It's just how we use the product. And big plus na yan, big factor na yan, na organic yung product natin, very safe and very earth-friendly. No? Usually, when I talk with farmers, I would usually emphasize more yung increasing productivity or increasing yung harvest and also cutting down costs, because those are the things really that concern farmers. But of course, hindi rin natin babawasan yung importansya na yung products natin are actually organic and earth-friendly. And safe para sa farmer and safe para sa customers ng farmers. So, let's just very quickly sa product natin, Farmer's Friend, Soil Conditioner, MaxiGrow, Foliar Fertilizer. And punta naman tayo sa isang example, no? Because sabi ko nga kanina, ang pinaka-foremost talaga na consideration ng isang farmer is paano ito makakatulong sa akin? Paano ba ako kikita ng mas malaki kung gagamitin ko yung product mo? Yun talaga ang dapat nating ma-answer. So, I have prepared here a few examples of how our products have helped the farmers. And in fact, calculated kung magkano ang increase talaga sa kanilang net income. At the end of the day, yun na naman talaga ang pinaka-importante sa kanila. So in the case, for example, of this client sa Bukidnon, before, he was only harvesting 110 sacks of rice maximum, and his cost was 50,000 pesos because he was also using some chemical fertilizers and some pesticides. But now, after using yung ating product, nag-increase yung kaniyang production. From 110, naging 168 kasako ng rice per hectare. And even his cost was cut down to around 30,000 pesos per hectare. So, what does it mean para sa kanya? So, let's just take this example para mag-compute lang tayo ng kahit konti. His revenue before was 88,000, 110 sacks times 800 per sack. Ganyan usually yung cost, yung bentahan. The cost was 50,000, and then his net income was 38,000 per hectare per cropping. Pero once he began using CHC Agritech, he was able to increase his production to 168 sacks. So ang net income niya nag-increase from 38,000 all the way to 104,000 pesos per hectare. So you could see, grabe pala yung impact the moment na ma-increase mo yung productivity ng isang farmer. No? In his case, nag-increase yung income niya by 66,000 per hectare per cropping. Now you could just imagine 66,000 per hectare per cropping. What if he had what if he has 10 hectares or 5 hectares, right? So that's 60,000 times 5, that's 300,000 pesos per cropping. No? So malaki ang magiging impact sa kanyang kabuhayan at kanyang way of life and way of yung quality of life niya kung matutulungan natin siyang mag-increase ng kanyang productivity. No? So here are other examples. No? Like for example, sa Pangasinan, it was able to increase from 50 sacks to 71 sacks. In this case, ang kanyang income from 15,000 to 34,000 at to 32,000. Hindi ko na in-adjust yung cost, assuming same cost lang, no? So 32,000. Sa case naman sa Visayas, from 90 sacks to 120 sacks, that means to say, ang farmer natin nag-increase yung kanyang income from 22,000 to 46,000. Malaki ba yung yung impact? Of course, very, very big. In a case of corn, for example, the farmer increases production from 90 sacks to 120 sacks. That means to say na yung kanyang income increased from 27,000 to 52,000, no? Per hectare. We also talked kanina, so we were talking about rice and corn as examples natin because those are the biggest biggest na or the most significant na production ng Philippine agricultural sector. We also talked kanina na banana is a very, very big part of the agricultural sector. In fact, right now, it's only second to rice. No? Pero one of the biggest problems sa itong sector na ito is the fusarium wilt or yung Panama disease. And I think ang ganda-ganda ng ginagawa ng taga Mindanao natin na team kasi marami silang successful cases where they were able to really treat yung fusarium wilt na problem. You can imagine, magkano ba ang mag-treat ng fusarium wilt kung hindi CHC Agritech ang ginagamit na product? Well, I don't know kung tama pa rin to, but when I was talking with one agriculturist, they said na dapat ang gagastusin para lang to treat Panama disease is 300,000 per hectare. That's a lot of cost. Paano kung ma-cut down mo yung cost na yan from 300K to maybe around 100K or 50K using CHC Agritech. And then you're not, hindi pa natin kinocompute dyan yung loss of production kung matatamaan ng fusarium wilt or Panama disease ang banana plantation. The good thing about the success case that we have in the success cases we have in Davao is that once you apply CHC Agritech sa mga Panama hit na areas, napipigilan niya ang pag-spread ng disease. Nako-confine lang yung Panama disease doon sa may problema na existing. And because of that, yung sa area surrounding, hindi talaga healthy talaga and hindi nagsasuffer ng loss of production. Now let's go to probiotics, which is an additive, good bacteria or good microorganisms na additive na ginagamit natin binibigay natin para sa mga alagang hayop, layers, broilers, or even sa mga hogs and sa mga ruminants. Right? Faster ang growth ng ating mga alagang hayop, stronger yung kanilang immunity, hindi sila sakitin, and therefore lesser ang chances na mamamatay sila sa sakit. Also, yung probiotics natin would eliminate yung mga parasites and even combat yung mga diseases na existing na sa ating mga hayop. Now, when it comes sa mga egg layers naman, it tends to increase yung egg laying capacity. Apart from that, mas maganda yung meat quality and of course, with all these things na advantages and benefits na binibigyan ng ating probiotics, nalilesen yung gastusin natin sa mga feeds kasi mas madali silang lumaki at mas efficient ang pagkain nila ang pag-digest nila ng pagkain, mas lesser ang gastusin natin sa feeds, And then ang medicine cost natin kasi hindi na sila sakitin at hindi na rin sila madaling namamatay. So in this case, for example, sa Oroquieta City, it's a hub na I think they must have like 50 or 100 sa level na capacity. So it's not extremely big, pero it's a medium, you could say a medium size na hog farm. So anyway, ang kanilang nakita doon is that at 3 months, usually yung kanilang mga baboy nag-weigh na ng 70 to 80 kilograms. But with probiotics, nag-weigh na po siya ng 90 to 97, no? Almost 100 kilograms. And that's really great para sa kanila kasi, that's a difference of 10, 10 to 20 kilos na per baboy. Hindi na rin sila nagva-vaccinate at hindi na rin nawala na yung sakit ng kanilang baboy, yung fungal infection at yung diarrhea. But anyway, at the end of the day, i-compute natin kung magkano yung kanilang kinita or yung increase sa kanilang income. So, sa kanilang 3-month-old na mga baboy, dati kung nabibenta nila ito ng 13.5K, 1,000 pesos per hog, 3-month-old hog. Ngayon, it's 16,500 pesos per hog. So that's 3,000 pesos per hog. You can imagine yung impact sa farmer na ito, di ba? 3,000 pesos per baboy, and how many baboy ang binibenta niya? Sa broiler chicken naman, no? In this case, we were able to decrease yung mortality rate from 8 to 9%. Now, we brought it down to 3 to 4%, 3 or 4% only. That means to say, kasi 85,000 heads ito ng chicks, they were able to save around 3,400 heads ng chickens per cycle. Kasi naiwasan natin yung mortality. 3,400 heads at mga around 110 pesos or even let's just say 100 pesos per head na bentahan ng live chicken, you're talking about 300,000 pesos in added revenue para sa itong livestock or sa broiler operator na ito. That's a lot of money. Ito rin naman sa layering chicken. Dati, 7 egg trays lang siya per day. Now, umakyat siya ng 15 egg trays per day. How much will it translate in terms of income? That's 1,200 pesos per day of additional revenue or additional income para sa kanya. Aqualife naman is our water conditioner for aquaculture. Siyempre, yung isda, naninirahan siya sa tubig. And if yung tubig na yan is very dirty, it's toxic, it's not, it has low oxygen levels na, hindi na siya maganda na tirahan para sa mga isda, maraming isda na mamamatay. And that's why in the aquaculture sector, mataas talaga ang mortality rate ng mga fish stocks, right? But if we introduce Aqualife, we could help a lot in terms of reducing yung mortality or yung pagkakamatay ng mga isda kasi pinapaganda natin or kinukondisyon natin ang quality ng tubig. And then on top of that, may probiotic na element din tong ating Aqualife eh. So mas mabilis tumubo or lumaki yung ating mga isda. Mas mabilis, no? And of course, kung ginagamitan natin yung ng Aqualife and then na-reach na natin yung target weight ng ating mga isda in 2 months or 2.5 months instead of 3 months, makakasave tayo ng feeding cost for 2 weeks or 1 month, right? So malaki din po yung cost saving in terms of feeds by using Aqualife. So in this case, for example, sa Binmali, Pangasinan, dati dati 3 isda para sa 1 kilo. Ngayon, 2 isda na lang para sa 1 kilo. Lumaki po yung isda, no? Naging mas mabigat yung isda. Even at the same period of time lang even with the same period of time lang sa sa production nila. And mortality, they were able to bring it down to a very, very low level, almost close to none. Here's another example sa isang very successful case natin sa Sibugay, Zamboanga. In this case, this trial was conducted together with BFAR. So there's an independent party na nag-observe ng ating trial. And it was certified in that trial na nag-double ang production ng kanilang fish pond. And that's a lot. When you double a production, it means to say it's double the revenue, and normally it's double the net income. No? That's a huge help para sa ating farmer. And makikita natin why the production doubled. Apart from lesser ang namatay, mas bumigat ang timbang ng bawat bangus. No? Dati 3 pieces per kilogram, ngayon naging 2 pieces na lang siya per kilogram. So mas malaki, mas mabigat yung kanyang timbang, and then lesser pa yung mortality. Kaya dumoble yung production nila sa kanilang fish pond. Now, activator is also one of those, actually this is my favorite product talaga, because it has that instant effect, especially when it comes to odor elimination. For other products, I would have to wait a little bit before I could demonstrate the result, although the results are very successful. But with activator, I could demonstrate the product, and then in 30 seconds, makikita na yung resulta. Well, 30 seconds or a few minutes in case of landfills, for example, kasi mas malaki yung problema sa landfills. But activator has a lot of applications when it comes, especially sa mga livestock, no? Like sa mga babuyan and yung sa mga poultry. Babuyan para pampawala baho, kasi palagi silang nirereklamo sa baho. And then when it comes naman sa mga poultry, pampawala ng langaw or manage or prevent ang proliferation ng flies. Kasi normally, nirereklamo din yung mga poultry operators dahil sa matinding problema sa langaw. So in this case, for example, meron tayong malaking operator sa Ozamis and 5,000 hog capacity. So it's a huge na facility, huge enterprise. And ang problema nila is almost pinapasara na sila. Kasi, syempre, mabaho. And you could see, no, ang BOD, which is what you call this thing, which is a measurement of yung pollution. Kasi BOD is a measurement of pollution, 4,000. Normally, dapat ang safe niyan is only 200. Pero ito, lampas-lampas na, 4,000 na, no, ang pollution. So, anong gagawin, di ba? Mabaho, polluted, nireklamo tuloy ng mga kanilang mga neighbors. So, syempre, they were at risk of being closed down. But after using the product, wala nang baho, na-eliminate yung problema, and therefore they were able to save the plant or nila facility. And you can imagine, no, kung gaanong kalaking tulong yan sa isang negosyante na hindi na sila pinapa-close down. Kasi ang mahal-mahal po ng magpagawa ng isang facility na katulad nito. Napakamahal po, millions of pesos ang gagastusin. Ganon din po, no, sa isang contract grower sa Tarlac na dati nagka-problema sa infestation ng langaw, and now wala ng langaw. And with that, safe po yung ating farm na hindi po sila mapapasara. At hindi mo sila marireklamo, hindi rin sila mapapasara. And wala nang sakit ng ulo, and save yung how many millions of pesos to relocate yung kanilang mga poultry farms. So that's it, no, sa CHC Agritech. What I really wanted to showcase here is that yung products na can help farmers improve yung productivity nila, cut yung kanilang cost, and when you do both, increase productivity and cut costs, then you increase their income and improve their quality of life. Sana po matulungan natin sila kasi nakita po natin na ang agriculture sector natin ay kailangan talagang tulungan, no? Napaka kumpara sa iba, and marami tayong for improvement. Let's help yung farmers realize yung higher potential to improve yung production nila and kanilang incomes, right? So that's it. Yung sa ating presentation, and I don't know kung there are questions that I could entertain, but depende na lang sa Sir Ryan and Sir John, because I think this is live streamed and not in Zoom. Sir Ryan or Sir John?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the presentation, but I don't know if I could entertain any question because nasa Facebook Live tayo.
Opo, nasa Facebook po. Okay naman po, ma'am, kung ano po.
Yeah.
Sige, ma'am, kung may last word ka po sa mga viewers natin, ma'am. Okay.
None really. I just really wanted to highlight na sa CHC Agritech, tayo po ay nasa isang napaka magandang mission para tulungan yung ating agriculture sector na right now is suffering a lot, and yung mga farmers natin consequently are also suffering a lot. Tulong-tulong po tayo. Tulong-tulong po tayo sa pag-address ng kanilang mga problema. And sana po ay maging successful kayo when you interact with the farmers and with the proper authorities sa let's say sa mga ATI, mga ganyan, mga LGUs, so you could convince them better using some of this information that you were able to gather today from my presentation. So that's just it, Sir Ryan. Otherwise, maraming salamat talaga again for having me here. And then viewers, especially those who know me, they can just really contact me. I could give them a copy of the slides and even explain some more if they need further explanations.
Thank you po, Ma'am Louise. Thank you po.
Sir Ryan.
Hello po. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Have a good day or have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.